this one? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please remain standing to join in singing our national anthem, and then please remain standing as we acknowledge our Aboriginal heritage with an honor song by Joseph Harper, who is Cree from the Bear Clan.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command, car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Joseph. On behalf of George, please take your seats. On behalf of George Brown College, I would like to welcome you all, graduates, family, and friends, to this morning's convocation exercises for the class of 2012. Oh, go ahead. My name is Georgia Cortaro. I'm Acting Vice President Academic and Dean of the Center for Preparatory and Liberal Studies. It is my pleasure to welcome you and to serve as your Master of Ceremonies today. Our convocation ceremony is taking place on the traditional lands of the Mississaugas of New Credit. I would like to introduce the members of our platform party. I will ask them to stand and remain standing as they are introduced. Please hold your applause until the end of the introductions. It is my particular pleasure to introduce Sally Horsfall Eaton, newly appointed as the first Chancellor of George Brown College. Hold the applause, right? From the Board of Governors of George Brown College, Gita Ratupati. From George Brown College, Ann Sado, President of the College. Eugene Harrigan, Vice President, Corporate Services. Karen Thompson, Vice President, Marketing and Strategic Enrollment Management. Diane Tessier, Registrar. Lori Schechter-Wolfson, Assistant Vice President, Waterfront Development. Corey Ross, Acting Dean, Center for Community Services and Early Childhood and the Center for Health Sciences. And I would also like to acknowledge our Elder in Residence, Pauline Shirt, who is Cree from the Red-Tailed Hawk clan, originally from Saddle Lake, Alberta. Our keynote speaker this morning is Dr. Calvin Gutkin, who will be more formally introduced later in the program. And finally, the staff and faculty from the Center for Community Services and Early Childhood and the Center for Health Sciences at George Brown College. Ladies and gentlemen, your platform party, please take your seats. This morning, we are recognizing graduates from the School of Early Childhood in the Center for Community Services and Early Childhood, and from the School of Nursing in the Center for Health Sciences. Our interpreters this morning are Monique Ledrew and Tara Everett, and our captioner is Joanne Anderson. I will now call upon Lori Schechter-Wolfson, Assistant Vice President, Waterfront Development, to address the graduates on behalf of the Center for Community Services and Early Childhood and the Center for Health Sciences, and to introduce our keynote speaker. Lori?
Madam President, Madam Chancellor, Dr. Gutkin, members of the Platform Party, staff and guests, and last but not least, our graduates. Louder, I can't hear ya. Who says early childhood educators and nurses are quiet? Certainly not me. On behalf of the Center for Community Services and Early Childhood and the Center for Health Sciences, I would like to extend my congratulations to the graduates on completing their programs of study. The programs that you have been a part of and the professions you are about to enter represent two of the largest and most important sectors in Canada, health and early childhood education. The future of these sectors rests with graduates like you who are concerned about the social determinants of health and who care about the well-being of individuals and community, and who understand and are prepared to work with people in need, including the most vulnerable populations in our society, the very young and the elderly. As students, you've had experiences both here and in Toronto and in some countries such as Jamaica. Where's Jamaica group? Over there, okay. And China. Welcome back. With our focus on collaborative practice, you have learned from each other what it means to be part of a team. For our graduates in early childhood, the changes to early childhood education are and will continue to be significant, and many of you will be part of that change. For our graduates in the School of Nursing, you will contribute to all facets of healthcare, from institutional to long-term care, to community and to home. And for all of our graduates, you can take your learning and all your experiences out into the world as a proud graduate of George Brown College. I would like to also acknowledge at this time the recent graduates from the Collaborative Baccalaureate Nursing Program and degree graduates from the Center for Early Childhood who participated in convocation exercises at Ryerson, our partner, last week. And finally, you will join me, I know, in thanking and acknowledging the faculty and staff that are sitting up here on the platform, for they have such passion and commitment to their students and to what they represent. Please join me in thanking your faculty and staff. And now, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Cal Gutkin, who is currently the Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer of the College of Family Physicians of Canada. I should say that Dr. Gutkin took a year to get here. We actually asked him last year, but he broke his leg. And yes, doctors do break their leg, and he tells me he almost didn't make it this year because of traffic. Thankfully, we have you here. Dr. Gutkin is an ex-Winnipegger, where he received his degree in medicine at the University of Manitoba. Dr. Gutkin then moved to Ontario, where he received his certification in family medicine and his certificate of special competence in emergency medicine at Toronto General Hospital. Dr. Gutkin has held many roles throughout his career. First, as a clinician in his own practice, as Director of Emergency, Deputy Chief of Medicine and Chief of Medical Staff, all at Credit Valley Hospital. As Associate Professor, Department of Family and Community Medicine, University of Toronto, and has served on many committees and boards. And of particular interest to me is the fact that Dr. Gutkin was one of the team doctors for the Toronto Argos and the Canadian Special Olympics. In his In his current role, Dr. Gutkin has led or been part of many national and international healthcare initiatives. Among his many accomplishments are the focus on medical students as the future of family medicine in Canada, the publication of his book, Patients First, The Story of Family Medicine in Canada, and the development of the college's vision for family practice in Canada, advocating, as we do, a patient-centered practice model in which every person has a family physician working together with nurses and other healthcare practitioners as part of an interprofessional team. Dr. Gutkin was also co-chair of SOAR, a six-nation colloquium on the future of family medicine. Throughout his career, Dr. Gutkin has continued to believe that we could always do better for our patients and clients, and as such, has always focused on continuing education, ethics, and quality management programs. You know you are well thought of when an award is named after you. The Dr. Calvin Gutkin Award was established at Credit Valley in 1995 to recognize outstanding achievement by a hospital team or individual. Dr. Gutkin's professional background is certainly a fit for the schools of nursing and early childhood and for our convocation today. Like Dr. Gutkin, our belief in the importance of quality primary care and health promotion is paramount. Our post-diploma program in family practice nursing is a first in Ontario. Early childhood education plays a pivotal role in the health and development of young children, providing a positive foundation that is critical as we age. Both our schools and Dr. Gutkin recognize the importance of teamwork and the need to find and continue to find innovative ways to improve outcomes. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Dr. Cal Gutkin.
Thank you, Laurie. Madam President, Madam Chancellor, members of the Platform Party, faculty, guests, graduates. What a privilege it is to be here with you today. I've not only just learned a lot about myself that I'd long forgotten, I also found out in the Platform Party get-together before we came on stage that your acting dean and I grew up in Winnipeg within blocks of one another. So it really is a very small world, and it really ties us together in many ways beyond just the fact that we all share aspirations for the well-being of our population. It truly is an honor and a privilege for me to be here with you today and have been asked to address all of you on this special occasion. Firstly, I would like to congratulate the graduates for what you have accomplished. I would also like to thank you for committing yourselves to careers in healthcare and early childhood education, fields that are so important to the people of Ontario and Canada. And I would like to thank your teachers as well, the faculty here at George Brown College, for the outstanding program they have developed and their dedication to their responsibilities as educators and role models. Those of you graduating today in healthcare have been part of one of the most progressive health education programs in Canada, a program whose emphasis on applied and team-based skills and whose use of progressive and advanced teaching tools, including low-stress simulated learning and practice environments, will have prepared you well for the real-world challenges now before you. The fields you have chosen for your careers, practical nursing, registered nursing, personal support worker, early childhood education, are all areas vital to the health and well-being of the people you will now be serving. Similar to the priorities in the day-to-day work of people like myself who are family physicians, you also will direct much of your energy towards promoting and ensuring wellness and the prevention of chronic diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, strokes, arthritis, and mental illness. I can't help but pause and reflect as I just even look at all of you who are graduating today, to think about the fact that while you must, just like I and my colleagues are, be very proud of the careers that you are going to have before you, you must also always remember to be humble, to be able to listen to the people that you are going to be serving, because they will tell you your real value. And some of those people are actually little children. And I have a personal story that reminded me of the message that I had to remember about how important I think that I and my colleagues are as family doctors. When my daughter Michelle was about 10 years old, I went to pick her up at a park one day. She was playing with other children. And I parked the car and I walked up and I could see all these kids running around, but I couldn't see her. So I stopped one of the other little girls and I said, "Hi, I'm Michelle Gutkin's dad, and I don't see her. Is she out there?" She said, "Oh yeah, she's out there." I said, "So it looks like everybody's having a great time. What are you playing?" And they were all racing around this field. And she said, "Oh, we're playing a terrific game." I said, "What is it?" She said, "Oh, it's called Doctor Patient." And I really had this swelling of pride come over me, thinking, geez, my daughter and her friends are playing a game that has my profession right at the center of it. So I said to her, "Well, how does this game go?" She said, "Well, half of us are doctors and the other half are patients." I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, the doctors chase the patients." And I immediately knew I was probably heading into trouble here. I said, "Yes." She said, "And if the doctor catches you, you're dead." So I realized that you have to keep everything in perspective. You have to keep those goals in front of you and never think you've really achieved everything that you think you might have. Those of you who are graduating today in early childhood education will be focused on the vital importance of healthy beginnings in life for our nation's children, who need a stable and supportive political and social environment surrounding them if they are going to become healthy adults. It was over 3 decades ago that our then Minister of National Health and Welfare, the Honorable Marc Lalonde, co-authored a landmark publication called A New Perspective on the Health of Canadians, in which he urged Canada to consider the impact of a multitude of non-medical factors on the health of our population. The importance of these factors, which you heard about in the introduction of me as your speaker, known as the social determinants of health, cannot be overemphasized. These are the conditions into which people are born and in which they grow up, live, and age. They include income levels and opportunities for jobs, access to a safe home, nutritious food, clean water, a good education, and quality health care. They are the things that help to make and keep us healthy throughout our lives, with particular importance on the impact they have from birth and during the early childhood years. Poverty affects all ages, but is a critical factor in determining the health of children, with low family income levels correlating with the highest rates of infant and childhood morbidity and decreased life expectancy. While we may sometimes think these problems only occur in poor and under-resourced nations around the world, we have to recognize that they exist among low-income families in the major cities, rural, remote, and First Nations communities throughout Canada. This is unacceptable for a resource-rich nation like ours. These are the kinds of adverse health outcomes facing children and high-risk populations about which you, as nurses, personal support workers, and early childhood educators, must be aware, and that hopefully you will be committed to addressing throughout your careers. To do this, you will be involved in caring for people as skilled and knowledgeable individuals. But you will have learned as well that the most effective care and the most effective caregivers are those who understand that none of us can provide all the care each person or population needs. We cannot do this on our own. We must function as part of interdisciplinary teams where each of us contributes the skills we have, where each of us understands and respects the roles and responsibilities of all the other care providers, and where each of us remembers that the most important member of the team is not any one of us. It's the patient, it's the child, it's the person we are caring for. The good news is that in healthcare, patient-centered, team-based care, which has been a very important part of what you have learned in your George Brown programs, is becoming the preferred model of practice in most healthcare settings today, including hospitals, long-term care institutions, and community-based settings. For community-based primary care and family practice, things are clearly moving forward in this direction. Last September, our College of Family Physicians of Canada met with government officials on Parliament Hill in Ottawa to launch our vision for the future of family practice in this nation. We call it the patient's medical home. It belongs to the patient. It's family practices where patients will have all of their frontline health and medical care needs met. Every patient will have a team of care providers that will include a personal family doctor, nurse, and other healthcare professionals and providers. Care plans will be patient-centered, with patients also participating on practice advisory groups, helping to monitor and provide recommendations about how to improve the practice. New booking systems will be used to ensure timely access for appointments for all patients, and direct communication links will be established between the family practice, the primary care practice, and other medical services throughout the community. In Ontario, these kinds of practices have actually been launched. They are known as family health teams, and they're available now in many areas. Whether or not you will have an immediate opportunity to work within one of these types of settings, you will probably be linked to them in some way, and you will soon be part of an entire system where interdisciplinary care is predominant. And when that happens, you'll be reminded again of how fortunate you have been to have learned about the value of teams while you were students here at George Brown College. As you begin your journey throughout your career, I would like to leave you with a few thoughts about how I hope you might carry on in the years to come. Always keep the patient's needs front and center in all that you do. Listen to your patients. Earn their trust. Talk to the people you care for. They and their loved ones always need to know what it is you are about to do or what just happened. Remember that healthcare includes understanding and addressing the social determinants of health and caring for those most in need within both our local and global communities. Be open to change. Healthcare and early childhood education and the systems in which they are provided are constantly changing, and you must change with them. Maintain your knowledge and skills. As you graduate today, your learning has actually just begun. Respect the other members of your healthcare or childcare team and carry out your responsibilities in a professional and ethical manner that will ensure that they respect you. Lead a balanced and healthy personal life that combines your dedication to your career with your commitment to your family, your friends, and yourselves. Love what you do. If you are passionate about your work, you will excel at what you do, and you will be fulfilled. A few weeks ago, a friend and colleague of mine, Anne Alsafar, a registered nurse who is also president of the Canadian Family Practice Nurses Association, and Anne is a strong advocate of George Brown College's RN program, sent a message to the family practice nurses across Canada to acknowledge Nurses Week and to thank them for their commitment. She included words from an Emily Dickinson poem that I think are appropriate to share with those of you who are graduating today. We never know how high we are till we are called to rise. And then, if we are true to plan, our statures touch the skies. I wish all of you the best in your careers and your lives. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the part of today's ceremony in which we recognize outstanding scholastic achievement by our graduates. At this time, we would like to recognize the recipient of the Governor General's Academic Medal. This medal was first awarded in 1873 by the Earl of Dufferin and has since become one of the most prestigious awards that a student in a Canadian educational institution can receive. The Collegiate Bronze Medal from the Governor General of Canada is awarded to a student in a 2 or 3 year diploma program with the highest cumulative grade point average. This year, the recipient of the Governor General's Academic Medal is Jennifer Rodriguez Allen from the Activation Coordinator Gerontology program in the School of Health and Wellness in the Center for Health Sciences. Jennifer received this award at her convocation yesterday. We would also like to recognize the recipient of the Board of Governors Medal. The Board of Governors Medal was established in 2007 when the first students from degree programs graduated from George Brown College. The medal is awarded to a full-time student in a degree program of at least 4 years duration and is awarded for academic excellence to the student with the highest cumulative grade point average. This year, the recipient of the Board of Governors Medal is Candy McKinnon, who graduated with a Bachelor of Applied Business in Financial Services earlier this week. I ask you to join me in congratulating these two graduates. This morning, we are proud to honor two graduates from the Center for Community Services and Early Childhood and the Center for Health Sciences with a Dean's Award to recognize both their high academic achievement over all their semesters in the center and their contributions to the college community. I'd like to call on Laurie Schechter-Wolfson to come forward to present the award. This year, the recipient of the Dean's Award for the Center for Community Services and Early Childhood is Frances Boudreau. Frances is a graduate of the Early Childhood Education Program in the School of Early Childhood. Frances, please come forward to accept your award. Right here.
Or they'll just sit over you.
This year, the recipient of the Dean's Award for the Center for Health Sciences is Haishi Lasso. Haishi is a graduate of the Practical Nursing program in the School of Nursing. Unfortunately, she is unable to be with us today. Please join me in congratulating this graduate. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the valedictorian for this morning to speak on behalf of the graduating class. Jennifer Marsh is a graduate of the Early Childhood Education Program from the School of Early Childhood in the Center for Community Services and Early Childhood. Jennifer, would you please come forward to address the graduating class of 2012?
Madam President, Madam Chancellor, members of the Platform Party, fellow graduates, George Brown faculty and staff, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I feel both privileged and honored to be representing the George Brown graduating class of 2012. For me, it seemed like graduation day would never come, and now here we are, graduating. This is an amazing day to celebrate and reflect on all of our hard work and what we have achieved. Each of us came into George Brown from different backgrounds and experiences. Some of us are mothers or fathers, some of us worked part-time jobs, and some of us were new to the country and not only adjusted to a new life as a student, but also to a new life in Canada. However, we are all leaving with one thing in common, an education that will carry us through the rest of our lives. Some of us may continue our education, and George Brown will become the foundation for further post-secondary studies. For those of us who are not continuing on in school, our lives are all about to change as we enter the workforce. You must love what you do, because your career will take up a good portion of every day. I am a firm believer that life will bring you what you ask for. If you want something badly enough, you have the power to obtain it. If you are not happy with what you are doing, change it. Now we all have an education. This means that we have the power to do with it as we wish. The late Steve Jobs said at a commencement ceremony several years ago, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary." My fellow graduates, you are the only one who really knows what you truly want to become. Now we all have the education needed to follow our dreams. Everything happens for a reason. We were each given the opportunity to attend George Brown College, and we met each other for a reason. The relationships we have made here will continue on into our future, becoming our best resources. These are the friends we will call when we have a question about what is happening at work and no one else seems to know the answer. These are the friends who will understand our work frustrations and who will be there to help us through them. Stay in touch with these friends. They are your greatest asset. While we pursue our dreams and ambitions, we must remember to treasure our friends. I am so grateful for the amazing friends I have made here. I wouldn't have made it through without them. Of course, none of us would be here today if it weren't for the amazing professors and staff at George Brown College. I would like to thank all of you on behalf of the graduating class for being so supportive and encouraging over our time here. Thank you. All of us graduating here today are compassionate, patient, kind, and caring individuals. If we weren't, we wouldn't be graduating from the early childhood education or nursing program. It takes a very special kind of person to be an educator or a nurse. This is something that I hope all of you share with others every day. This is what we have to contribute. Even on days when we aren't receiving the same kindness in return, always give the best of yourself to others. You can never go wrong when you do this. We need to remember how fortunate we are. We have been given the great gift of education. It will enable us to move forward in life confident and successful. George Brown will always be on our resume, and that is a strong highlight. I wish each and every one of you all the best in the future, and I want to remind you to always educate yourselves. That is the key to success. I am graduating from early childhood education, so in closing, I would like to paraphrase a quote by Dr. Seuss. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own and you know what you know, and you are the one who will decide where to go. Thank you and congratulations.
We have now reached the formal part of our ceremony, where we award the credentials, the degrees, diplomas, and certificates, and these become official documents of the college. I invite Chancellor Sally Horsfall Eaton to come forward, and with the graduates, please stand. Madam Chancellor, it is my privilege to report to you that the candidates assembled here today have qualified in all respects for their credentials by successfully completing curricula offered by the Center for Community Services and Early Childhood and the Center for Health Sciences at George Brown College. Faculty members have recommended that they be awarded their credentials in recognition of their academic accomplishments.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of George Brown College, I do hereby confer on you your respective degrees, diplomas, and certificates with all of the rights and privileges and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Madam Chancellor, on behalf of the graduates not present, I request that you confer their credentials in absentia.
And I so do. Graduates here today and watching on the webcast, congratulations. This has been an incredibly long process for you, and you've all made it. I think that's just wonderful. So remember, today is your day, so enjoy every moment of it. Thank you.
Graduates, please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, during the next part of the ceremony, we will be presenting the graduates individually to Chancellor Sally Horsfall Eaton and President Sado. To show our respect for each graduate, we ask that you remain in your seats until the last person has received his or her credential. We also ask that you withhold your applause until all the graduates from each program have been presented so that we can hear everyone's name. For our graduates, upon receiving your credential, we ask that you return to your seats and enjoy the rest of the convocation program. Madam Chancellor, Madam President, I wish to present the graduates from the Center for Community Services and Early Childhood and the Center for Health Sciences so that you may confer their credentials. Our reader for today's ceremony is Patrick Kwok Choon. Patrick graduated from George Brown College's School of Performing Arts in 2009. He is the youngest member of that school's advisory committee and is currently starring in the hit show War Horse. Patrick, would you come forward?
Thank you. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting to you the 2012 graduates for their credentials from the Pre-Community Services Program. Pearl Barantz. Thank you, Madam Chancellor. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting to you the 2012 graduates for their credentials from the Center for Community Services and Early Childhood, School of Early Childhood, the Early Childhood Education Program. Annie Abdul Malik. Camille Ricky Abibula. Bronwyn Alsop. Marcella Andelas. Maria Arinabar Carpio with honors. Natalia Arujo with honors. Sarah Asdrubellini with honors. Alessandro Avola. Deborah Ayanlowo. Margam Azadi. Marco Antonio Badillo Maticorena with honors. Laura Bayless with honors. David Bainbridge. Caitlin Jean Ball with honors. Travette Banfield. Heather Belshaw. Melissa Benedette with honors. Michelle Betancourt. Julia Bikram with honors. Tessie Beegee. Artie Bundramlal. Claude Clément Boucher. Frances Ann Boudreau with honors. Elaine Rose Brennan. Edeline Buhane with honors. Nathania Melissa Busu. Jennifer Caputo. Catherine Carballo Orozco with honors. Samantha Carvalho. Indrani Tampa Chakraporty with honors. Kelly Chan. Samantha Lynn Charest. Shirley Checaveron. Goroti Chung with honors. Brittany Ann Cook. Sarah Coons. Vincent Carrera with honors. Godianne Patrice Craig. Amy Diane Davey with honors. Bonnie DeKuiper with honors. Amanda Luisa de la Vega. Caitlin Marie de Vera with honors. Mackenzie Dean. Eleonora Daney with honors. Jennifer Joy de la Cruz. Maria Dempsey with honors. Verlin Ann Dyson. Christina Perez Dominguez. Yunju Do Doyle. Alexa DeLunas. Diana Duke with honors. Dimitri Edelstein. Noran El Sharif with honors. Margaret Enchin with honors. Kara Feldkamp. Megan Ferris. Jacqueline Fricker with honors. Megan Freed Roberts. Monica Gamayon. Jessica Rachel Gamond. Marilyn Hall with honors. Michelle Gooderim. Fadia Hay. Aisha Hamid. Hyewon Han. Stephanie Hardit. Zoe Harvey with honors. Faiza Hassan Hersey with honors. Romina Haydari. Jessica Lynn Holder with honors. Mina Hong. Hugh Ya Su. Tan Shun Su with honors. Ling Huang. Lindsay Page Hughes. Katrina Hurst. Jae Ing Hwan with honors. Victoria Idowu. Lorna Francis Christina Innes with honors. Golru Iravani. Julian Gerencio. Alicia Jones. Roselle Cortez Joven. Chan Hee Jung with honors. Ramia Kanagaratnam. Antonetta Capsiu with honors. Jessica Keith Taillon. Boram Kim with honors. Bill Hee-yong-jun Kim. Min Hee Kim with honors. Rita Kan. Sun Young Kim with honors. Yuka Kobayashi with honors. Amanda Cross. Catherine Lanneman with honors. Lisbeth Lascano. Vanessa Lowe with honors. Marlene Leal with honors. Elizabeth Lee. Ji-hee Lee. Elena Lopez. Shatifa Kayana Lord. Martina Marciniak. Alicia Marie Cirillo Lucarelli with honors. Ashley Jordan Lewis with honors. Jessica Erin Lusthouse. Patricia Santos Machado. Mubina Maboob. Amiteshwar Mangat. Andrea Markovats. Melissa Marazi with honors. Jennifer Marsh with honors. Shani Kissel Martyr. Casey Massery with honors. Ariselda Mataj. Meredith Ma. Rachel Maureen McCoy. Lauren James Macinis with honors. Celine Megardichian. Sieda Fakar Un Mehmood. Saadet Memisoglu with honors. Fareen Murali. Andrea Josephine Miniasi. Amy Marie Mitchell. Ziniara Hassan Mohammed. Karina Moniz with honors. Valentina Monreal with honors. Tai Kyun Moon. Monica Rose Moreno with honors. Alexandra Morris Ems. Bankeni Mozagba with honors. Arti Munsami. Safra Najimuddin with honors. Henny Junita Nasution. Ashley Cassandra Naula. Carmen Ng. Chanel Nielsen with honors. Mirza Nweren. Amy Colleen Olatan. Marilyn Siena de Oliveira. Melissa Oliveira Marquez. Christina Marie Pacheco. Sarah Page with honors. Jacqueline Pancross. Cheryl Paragua with honors. Albert Park. Kitty Pasto. Rebecca Patter with honors. Tabitha Lynn Payton. Chantel Polite. Diane Pereira. Keith Alexander Phillip. Liliana Pineda with honors. Christina Perozzo. Veronica Provenzano. Anna Quach. Blair Ramsawak with honors. Sinead Ramsubag. Karina Raposo. Justine Reed. Natasha Rende. Laura Rizzuto with honors. Julia Richardson with honors. Tasha Michelle Renard Knapp. Magdalena Rizzi. Tanya Rojas. Megan Rose with honors. Chelsea Rotz. Emily Sagaria. Jedelyn Santiago. Erin Scarfone with honors. Alina Schwartz-Gijan with honors. Jillian Margaret Simchasin. Tejul Sethi with honors. Margaret Ramona Shalma with honors. Jennifer Sherman with honors. Stephanie Saccard with honors. Jessica Silva with honors. Melanie Silva. Joshua Silver. Janelle Simpas. Tajinder Singh. Arani Sivalinganathan. Evelina Shivik with honors. Amanda Skinner with honors. Serena Lillian Smolsky with honors. Ashley Nicole Soros. Anuska Sukbir. Edna Subesa. Nasrin Sultana. Gunwate Sarup. Francis Nicole C. Elizabeth Tate. Kayla Jean Tavares with honors. Melissa Texiara with honors. Tanya Marie Texera. Sosena Tezera. Martha Tusi. Maria Troya with honors. Anna Tarukis. Vasiliki Vicky Tsisanis. Cassandra Tuccinardi. Robin Tuck with honors. Anusha Umakantham. Tivya Veratharaja with honors. Lisa Michelle Weber with honors. Caitlin Vickers with honors. Christia Bilela. Jeksu Angela Wang with honors. Christina Ward with honors. Lindsay Ward with honors. Terry Wartsky with honors. Stacy Williams. Sylvia Wozniak. Wen Min Woo. Ayako Yanagida. So Young Yang with honors. Ji Yi Yom with honors. Yonida Zamrikat. Ziu Shi Zhu. Thank you, Madam Chancellor. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting to you the 2012 graduates for their credentials from the Early Childhood Assistant Program. Latavia Kemp. Dui Hong Lien Bui with honors. Helena Dyson with honors. Emma Majorodi with honors. Anita Sabina Slevon with honors. Wayne Wayne. Thank you, Madam Chancellor. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting to you the 2012 graduates for their credentials from the Center for Health Sciences, School of Nursing, the Personal Support Worker Program. Evelyn Maria Annis. Mame Atuobi Danso. Maria Grazia Cipollone. Ruby Service with honors. Shauna Daly. Amanda DeVell with honors. Meharet Gebra Mehedhin with honors. Amanda Hall with honors. Robert Honeywell with honors. Rui Ying Vivian Huang. Melanie Irvine. Janina Wanda Longley with honors. Maxine Lunin with honors. Marnand Adrian Maun. Jean Josephine Martineau with honors. Kate Mata. Mary Louise McGee with honors. Ada Milano. Gloria Arlene Parks with honors. Richard Rosenoff. Ashley Victoria Sheehan. Leanna Small. Yatao Sun with honors. Maya Walters. Cecilia Beener with honors. Thank you, Madam Chancellor. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting to you the 2012 graduates for their credentials from the Pre-Health Science Program. Stella Mae Brown. Herleth Cameron. Sandra Campbell with honors. Charlene Ann Droschner with honors, being accepted posthumously by her brother Tom Ducharme. Thank you, Madam Chancellor. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting to you the 2012 graduates for their credentials from the Practical Nursing Program. Chantal Agard with honors. Lelaine Agarin. Ush Elmar Agu, Sajjad Ahmed, Yasmin Ali, Jean Aranita, Justin Baird, Arena Balaz, Sweet Angelica Ballet, Giorgio Barbato with honors, Sarah Jane Baron, Mark Barroso, Veronica Brainy with honors, Berekiti Abraham Brain, Maria Bringus, Valine Brown, John Buado, Susan Patricia Burton, Elizabeth Cabral, Erlyn Charmaine Reyes Camacho, Yulette Canton Rodriguez with honors, Christopher Joseph Caradona, Jessica Carl, Duan Sheng Chung, Lobsang Choden, Winnie Chow, Alice Priscilla Clark, Chloe Trista Como, Jillian Page Curry, Jennifer DeCastro with honors, Anthony Ryan DeSille, Franca Ekpanike, Izagani Mateo Estrella, Nagjij Farataj, Sherwin Philippe Furman, Kirsten Gifford, Jerome Gold Cross, Gabriella Hergeliju, Darla Rosalind Hughes with honors, Jerry Mae Janer, Chantal Jean, Tamara Aaron Jones, Sasha Jankaj, Anna Kamen, Matthew Kasmerchuk, Terlin Keys, Mohammed Firoj Hossein Khan with honors, Kyo Jong Lee, Latoya Anna Marie Lewis, Tenzin Ladon, Mimi Wenjun Lee, Marissa Liktawa, Brianne Rebecca Lindley, Cassandra Yarenas, Nellie Makura, Francis J. Manawis, Meridin Constantino Magubat, Anastasia Maslov, Mary Elizabeth McKeever, Agari Temesgen Mahari. Yosri Mina. John Marai. Romina Mernikaj with honors. Fanice Mokua. Patronella Moyo. Mariana Mersa with honors. Fiona Nelson. Delma Niegos with honors. Suswong Nima. Marie Antoinette Ong. Moya Palmer with honors. Jennifer Marie Pavo. Tsering Payang with honors. Monica Petrichka with honors. Janice Philpotts. Tsring Funtok. Namgale Norbu Kang. Candice Pitas. Rebecca Sarmiento. Robin Sharp with honors. Martina Shrestha. Lorraine Singh with honors. Yasmina Sosa. Kamla Saint-Croix. Lesia Stefaniuk. Katrina Studney. Severine Trutchett. Joanne Christine Twasson. Adam Charles Walser with honors. Rinzin Wangmo. Rosemary Wanzhou. Nicola West. Wei Wei Zhang with honors. Mengti Zhu. Thank you, Madam Chancellor. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting to you the 2012 graduates for their credentials from the Registered Nurse Critical Care Nursing Program. Fiona Jones with honors. Casilda Veronica Pine with honors. Thank you, Madam Chancellor. Congratulations, all graduates.
As I think you've realized, this concludes the conferring of credentials. Let's have one more round of applause for graduates. I now invite President Ann Sato to address the graduates of the class of 2012.
Madam Chancellor, students and faculty, family and friends, distinguished guests, good morning. To the class of 2012, congratulations once again. You've reached the finish line of your education at George Brown, and now it's time for your victory lap. Be sure to soak in all the applause, and there's been lots of it, but it is well deserved. Convocation is my favorite part of the year because it fills me with such pride in you, our students. Before me today, I see innovators and problem solvers, future leaders, and lifelong learners. I see an auditorium full of skilled graduates about to embark on rewarding new careers, well equipped with the knowledge and training you obtained at George Brown College. I think there's clearly electricity in the air. For some of our graduates, this convocation marks the start of a first career. For many others, it's a second or a third. It's been said today that change is the only constant in life, and that feels particularly true. As technology evolves at lightning speed and social demands change alongside it, we're seeing entire industries reinvented. Innovation expert Jim Carroll predicts that 65% of the children in preschool today will work in jobs that don't currently exist. So if you feel that the ground is shifting underneath your feet, you're not imagining things. But I have good news for you. You've already started building expertise at adapting to change. You've been building these skills during your entire academic career at George Brown College, exploring new fields of study while juggling competing deadlines, heavy course loads, and family responsibilities. I'm well aware of many of the challenges faced by students today, but this convocation is a testament to your resilience in the face of all of these pressures. The college has also been changing all around you. One of our greatest strengths is our willingness to acknowledge and embrace change in order to offer the most up-to-date training possible. We want our graduates to leave the college armed with the critical skills, knowledge, and capabilities that employers value most, and the ability to embrace change so that you're ready for anything. Over the past few years, during your time at the college, we've undertaken a number of game-changing academic initiatives. These include integrating a communications component into the curriculum of programs across the college. Communication skills have been identified by employers as a key ingredient for success in the workplace. The introduction of interprofessional education, a teaching and practical training concept that not only builds essential teamwork skills, but also reflects the reality of the future healthcare environments. New or upgraded simulated learning environments, such as the Simulated Practice Center, Interprofessional Learning Clinic, the ASL Lab, or our early childhood lab schools. An ongoing focus on expanding opportunities for field educations here and abroad, and placements as part of all programs at the college. And supporting our students and our graduates with their job search by launching GB Careers, which has had over 7,000 employers register since its debut. We've made these changes to ensure that each and every one of you is graduating with both the hard and soft skills necessary to thrive in the diverse, ever-shifting work environments that you will be entering. It doesn't mean things will be easy, but your presence here today is proof that you're ready. Class of 2012, I'd like you to think back to your first day at George Brown. Perhaps you were feeling nervous or excited or a combination of both. I'd wager that these feelings are arising again as you think about what happens next. You selected George Brown because you had a clear, bold vision of your professional future. You've put in long hours since that first day, working hard in our classrooms and our living labs to pursue a career path that I hope really speaks to you. You made a commitment to your education and you stuck to it, on good days and probably not so good days. Our staff and faculty were here to guide you along the way, but you did the work. What were the goals that kept you on track? What was the vision that inspired you? This self-reflection will come in handy as you move forward, and I encourage you to always take the time to reflect. You've laid an important foundation here at George Brown. Not only have you built up your skills and knowledge, you've also made connections, both personal and professional, that will provide encouragement and support in the years ahead. In fact, your valedictorian spoke about this today. Look around. Some of your biggest advocates are here celebrating with you today, whether they're family, friends, future colleagues, or trusted faculty. There's support available for you at the college as well. So I strongly encourage you to update your information with our Alumni Relations Office so you can take advantage of the many services on offer, including professional development and job search assistance. You're part of the George Brown family now, and we're here to help. There will be many more first days ahead for you. New jobs, new opportunities, and new challenges. The learning doesn't stop when you walk out our doors. Apple co-founder Steve Jobs famously told a graduating class at Stanford University, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future." Your graduation from college is just one of the many dots that will propel you forward into your future. But what happens next is up to you. You've walked across the stage and received your certificates and diplomas. I hope you take a moment to commend yourselves on this tremendous achievement. You deserve it, and you should be very proud. I know I'm feeling very proud of all of you. Congratulations again, and best of luck.
Thank you, Madam President. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the staff and faculty of George Brown College, let me congratulate not only the graduates, but also their families, friends, and guests. Graduates, and you are now graduates, each of you here today has completed a long journey to reach this achievement. Along the way, you have had the support and encouragement of many people close to you, as has been noted, and many of your supporters are here to celebrate with you today. So this is your opportunity to say thank you to the parent, child, brother, sister, partner, spouse, or friend who helped make this possible. They share in your achievement. Please join me in recognizing them now, and you might want to get up and turn around. And now, graduates, I invite you to join me in expressing your thanks to the faculty and staff of your center. Okay, great. Thanks, Dan. It takes many people to put convocation together. I would also like to thank Deborah Iafrate, Associate Registrar, and the team from the Registrar's Office in organizing this convocation. I'd like to thank Joanne Anderson, who provided real-time captioning for this ceremony, Monique Ledrew and Tara Everett, who have been our interpreters today, and our reader, Patrick Kwok-Chun. Special thanks also go to the staff and students from various college departments who volunteered their time today. Please join me in thanking them. I would also like to thank our piper, Alex Thompson, our musicians from Lamb Chops Music, and Joseph Harper, who provided the honor song. When I was talking with our elder, Pauline Schurt, earlier this week, I asked her about Joseph's honor song. So, what is the song about? And Pauline told me that the song is about having a good life. And I think that the graduates who are here today have, particularly in choosing your professions, chosen to have a good life not only for yourselves, but also to support a good life for many other people. Please join me in thanking those people. So, graduates and guests, we hope that you will join us for a reception downstairs here in the Sony Center immediately following the ceremony. There are signs for each area to help graduates find their families, classmates, and faculty. We ask that you remain in the auditorium until the platform party has left the stage. I now declare these graduation exercises closed.